Our next guest is Liana Wallace, Saaní. She is Raven Dogsalmon from Big Dipper House. She was born and raised in Acknowledgment. Her people were the first caretakers of the land, and Juno and Douglas. And she welcomes you to her ancestral homeland since time immemorial. Liana grew up on a trolling boat where both her parents spoke in Tlingit, and she learned traditional knowledge on both the sea and the land, and infuses this knowledge in all that she does. She works as a cultural historian and an educator in her community, and has vast experience with museums, archives, and education. She is a weaver, an avid researcher, and a storyteller of tribal traditions. Please help me in welcoming Liana.
Hello, welcome to Saaní. I'd like to share with you not only a story of where I'm from, but also where you're at, and also the design that's on my head right here. If you look very closely, it's another art piece that describes the Big Dipper. And so being from this area, we have many stories in many ways of how we arrived here. And so I'm going to begin with that as a storyteller. So when we first came to the Juneau area, all of the mainland was still covered in glaciers. When we came under the glaciers, we traveled in those ice caves, just like the ice caves we have here. To protect our head, we put branches in our head. And that way, when we were traveling underneath the ice caves, whenever there was anything protruding from the ice wall, we would duck our head and bend down. And that's how we traveled all the way from the mainland, all the way to the outer coast. When we first came out, most of the islands were still covered in ice. And so we went south. Eventually we headed north and we settled in the big island called Admiralty Island in Seymour Canal. As we looked across the bay, we saw that the glacier was receding. At that time, it was called Auk Glacier. As the glacier receded, a lake appeared, and that lake is called Auk Lake today. But long time ago, there was a lady who used to live underneath that lake. I'm sorry, in Tlingit country, one story leads to another. But this is our way of saying good luck to all the honorable people that are in the audience today. In this lake, there is a woman's spirit, and they say that her hair is so long that it covers the whole bottom of the lake. And every day her husband comes to visit her, and he does this by pounding on this one spot alongside the lake. And sure enough, the lady of the lake comes up out of the water and she grabs that man and she takes him down under. So one day another man was watching and he became very curious. How was this man able to go down to a village that was under the sea and then come back up as if nothing was wrong? And so he went to that same exact spot and he jumped up and down. And sure enough, the lady of the lake came up out of the water and she grabbed that man and took him under. To make a long story short, eventually he grabbed something as evidence and took it back to his village. That evidence was a child. He took a child that was not all human, you know. It was half water spirit. They say that today the child and the lucky woman that survived still wanders around. And when you're able to see her, she gives you good luck. And so without coming out and just saying good luck, I'm telling you a story that probably takes a lot longer than what I'm saying now, but it's my way of saying good luck to everybody. In Tlingit,